But a 12-win team of the Lions, over or under 10.5 going into this year.
That's right. Detroit cheated out of a win on national television. We all saw it.
So they're a 13-win team, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, look, so they're a good contrasting team for Dallas, not just because of last season, but actually because, okay, both these teams were in a really good spot in terms of last year, what they did, what they're sort of carrying over into this season. But one of those teams seems to have probably taken a step backwards. The other one has taken a step forwards, right? Like their off seasons, I don't think could be much more different than they have been. Like Dallas has just tried to replace what they lost with young players, whereas Detroit has gone out there and identified actual significant upgrades at a couple of spots and gone and prioritized them and brought those guys in. So bringing in a guy like DJ Reader has the potential to be genuinely transformative on that defensive line. And okay, they've done similar things in terms of we're going to need Terry and Arnold to come in and be good right away, right? But number one, they did it in a slightly different way. Like they targeted a potential blue chip player and traded up to get him rather than kind of let's just play the lower end of the first round and play the odds. But they've also added some of those veterans, like trading for a guy like Carlton Davis. So generally, I just think that the Lions have had a much more impactful offseason than Dallas and propelled themselves forwards.
Yeah, so I agree with all that. I mean, I think the other part too is keeping the coaching staff together in Detroit, you know, as they've gotten better.
Ben Johnson.
Yeah, I mean, Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn, they've kept everybody intact. And that is not always possible for a team like that. I've mentioned all throughout last year, I think the Lions are the best team that has just incrementally got better and better and better every year, building from the bottom up and not necessarily be taking this massive leap forward because of the quarterback. Yes, the Niners have done that maybe in the Kyle Shanahan era, John Lynch era since 2018. The Lions feel like one of the cleanest versions of that. So yeah, I love all the moves the Lions are making. The question now is, in last year's division, on paper, the Lions were 12-5, while the Packers were 9-8, and then the Vikings and the Bears each had 7 wins. But I think if you have a full year of what looks like a star in Jordan Love, not half of a year of that makes it way more competitive. You have Caleb Williams coming in for the Bears, and then we'll see what happens with JJ McCarthy and the Vikings, but man, the rest of that roster also looks much improved. And if they're all healthy, you know, they look like 7, 8, 9 win team as well. So the NFC North has a chance to be really, really good. The actual official schedule has the Lions right around the middle of the pack. It's the 19th hardest schedule, so it's on the easier side. But I do think that probably gets more difficult as we get into the season. I think we'll see that some of those NFC North teams are a little bit better. So all that said is I don't want to go against anything that the Lions have done. I want to say over. And again, if I'm too optimistic, we'll deal with that. So I'm going to say over for the Lions. But yeah, I can't wait to see this NFC North and how a lot of those matchups end up playing out this season.
Yeah, I'm also going to go over. I mean, I do think Detroit's going to end up being one of the best teams in the NFL, at which point they'll go over that win total.